Hi, I'm Marti Buckley, cookbook author and resident of Spain for the last 15 years. And we are going to cook today one of my absolute favorite dishes from Spain. Everybody has heard of gazpacho. Well, gazpacho is not one of my favorite dishes. It's good, it's yummy, it's refreshing. But today we are going to cook the much lesser known salmorejo, which is really just for me one of the absolute best dishes to come from Spain. Salmorejo is a chilled soup, just like gazpacho, tomato-based, just like gazpacho, but that's where the similarities end. Salmorejo is silky, creamy, thick, it's delicious on a cool day. Salmorejo is from the south of Spain, from Córdoba, a beautiful place. You might have heard about its mezquita, but the city in and of itself is just so gorgeous, and it has that southern Spain flair with the warm people, warm nights, and cold soups, which is what we're gonna do today. Now, salmorejo is so easy, so fast, that we have to start actually with one of the garnishes before we start cooking the salmorejo. So what that is hard-boiled eggs. One of the garnishes for the soup traditionally is some chopped up hard-boiled egg. So I'm gonna take these two eggs and I'm gonna boil them. I'm gonna throw them in this hot boiling water and I'm gonna leave them for 10 minutes. Not less, maybe even a touch more, but 10 minutes is gonna get those yolks all the way cooked, but not too much. So let's hard boil our eggs and then we can move on with the recipe, starting with tomatoes. Now, what kind of tomato is best for salmorejo? That depends on who you ask. Pear tomatoes are good, but really the most important, these are tomate en rama, as we say in Spain. They just came on like a little green thing, a rama, a branch. I don't know how to say it in English. But as long as they're ripe, the best time to make salmorejo is obviously in the summer. But I really want to encourage you guys to make it because tomatoes in the summer in the south, in California, are just right on par and so delicious and make a great base for this soup. So I'm making like a smaller quantity today so that you guys can see how easy and quick it is. So we're just gonna cut these tomatoes up. We don't have to peel them. Some people might tell you to peel them. I'm not going to tell you to peel them because I don't peel them. Cut them into sort of manageable pieces from my little immersion blender. If you have a food processor or a bigger blender, that will work too. In Spain, we all use our trusty stick blender, which I'll show you in a second. So let's get these quarters into a bowl. Get my little tool. This is like every Spanish cook's favorite tool. And I'm going to use it just to blend up these tomatoes. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to blend it again. I'm just trying to get all the juices out and you'll see why in a second. What I'm doing is I'm getting these tomatoes sort of in a puree state. Why? Because what we're going to do is we're going to macerate all of our other ingredients in this little tomato juice kind of thing. Now, salmorejo has very few ingredients, so simple. So actually that means the ingredients are super important. This is the kind of dish, soup that you're going to want to go to your farmer's market for, go to your Whole Foods for, and get the best tomatoes you can find. The next ingredient that we're going to deal with is bread. Now, in the south of Spain, they typically prefer this bread called pan de telera, and that's like this really traditional, really white, hard crust, but really soft and smushy interior. Today, I have more of like a country loaf, but it's still very soft, and that's the important part. So we're using today 4 tomatoes, and I'm using this kind of bigger piece of bread. If you're using weights, then the quantity of tomato to bread is usually like 10 to 1, just for those of you who are working with a scale. I'm not this time, but you can. So I just am easily, I don't even want to get my knife out. That's how easy this is. So I'm just taking off the crusts, and now I'm going to toss the crusts in here in this little mixture. And the reason I'm doing this is because this really lets the flavors like come together and meld, and it also softens the bread. So if you let the bread soften, you're gonna get like a less grainy, a smoother texture, which is what we're going for here. And this is actually really more of a carryover from the traditional way of making salmorejo, which obviously before the time of blenders and all that was with a mortar and pestle. And it was also a day-old bread, because this is just a regular old country dish. And so of course you needed to really soften up that bread, and what they did was kind of let everything sit together and let the flavors meld. So one of the other few ingredients of this dish is garlic, okay? There's an old wives' tale. Well, I don't know if it's an old wives' tale. It could have truth to it. It makes sense. But what they do is they take out any little germ or like the green part in the middle of the garlic, because they think that that will help you sort of prevent repetition of your meal or like burps. So that's like this little kind of green thing in the middle that you see. So I'm going to take it out just because that's what they do. I'm going to throw it to the side. And then finally, we're going to get some salt just to begin to season this a little bit at a time. And next ingredient, a splash of sherry vinegar. I love sherry vinegar. This is what everybody uses. Here in the north of Spain, they alternate with apple cider vinegar, but sherry vinegar is like the gold standard for Spain. So I'm just gonna do like a little bit of a drizzle in here, and later we can add more if we need to. Okay, so I'm gonna give it like a little bit of a stir. And what we're gonna do here is literally just let it kind of rest. It needs a little siesta before we blend it up. Okay, so I'll be back in 10 minutes to finish it. Again, there's built-in like wine breaks in these dishes that I'm teaching you how to make. Okay, everybody's rested. The eggs are finished boiling. I had some more wine. So now we're gonna blend this up. You guys are gonna see how easy this is. It's just so simple. I need to get everybody into this tiny little cup. Okay, so now we are going to blend all of these ingredients that have been hanging out together, and their flavors should be like a lot more melded. And we're just gonna blend. And somebody that taught me to make this, they said, when you think you're done, blend another minute. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, there's one more secret ingredient, but before we add the remaining secret ingredient, we're going to give you an option. This is an option that I always like to take because I like my Salmorejo silky smooth. But you can see, even as well as I blended it, there's still, in as long as we let the bread soak, there's still like it's just a little grainy, which is fine. But I have a food mill. If you have a sieve, what this does is this is going to give us just a perfectly smooth result, which is how I like my Salmorejo. Okay, so I love a good food mill. People in Spain tend to use them a lot because they make a lot of vegetable purees that they don't serve in restaurants. They're all getting their vegetables at their houses. As if you've ever visited Spain, you've probably noticed that there's not that many vegetables out in the restaurants, and they're using their food mill, which is so handy. And it's gonna get all those tomato seeds, it's gonna get the tomato skin, and we're just gonna be left with this like sort of silky smooth mixture. And what does this do? This saves us from having to peel the tomatoes, de-seed the tomatoes, and we're just really taking advantage of like everything and just leaving the bad parts behind right at the end. So it's gonna be restaurant worthy. And now you can see also just how gorgeous it is so far. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're gonna return it back here because it's time to add the secret ingredient. It's not a tough guess, but you have some seconds to guess if you'd like. The secret ingredient to finish this soup is none other than extra virgin olive oil. Duh, because it's Spain. So you want extra virgin for sure, because we're not cooking, we're just gonna have this in our soup. A softer, you don't want like the strongest, freshest, spiciest. You want just like a softer extra virgin olive oil. For the 4 tomatoes and 1 slice of bread that we did, I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Now, are there people that just dump everything together and blend it? Yes, and that tastes good. But I'm showing you guys just the restaurant-worthy way of doing this, which really just includes the extra step of straining and the step of sort of leaving the olive oil for the last part. Because what happens now is we're making sort of almost like a mayonnaise-y situation here. I'm gonna pour this in slowly, and it's gonna sort of emulsify with everything else. So it's almost like we're making a mayonnaise, except it's like a tomato mayonnaise, and it's so good. So I love the stick blender because if you keep it still, even if there's a ton of oil at the top, it sort of streams down like really, really slowly. But when you're done, just go another minute. That's the Salmorejo say. I feel like I'm in like a trance. I think I can stop blending now. I'm in a Salmorejo trance. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try a little bit of it. Oh my God, this is really good. It hardly needs anything. Maybe just a little more salt. Always just a little more salt. But even that drizzle of vinegar is plenty that I already gave it. I'm gonna blend the salt in. Okay. Now, that's it. That's the whole thing. That's it. Now, can you eat the Salmorejo right now? Yes, you can eat the Salmorejo right now. Is it cold? No. Will it really benefit from like 10, 15, 20 minutes just chilling? Taking a little siesta? Yes. So I'm gonna do that, but I want you guys to know this isn't like you have to plan an hour and ahead. You could eat it now, but I'm gonna stick it in the fridge and let it get cold and prepare the garnish. Now, Salmorejo is almost always served with the same garnish, which is a hard-boiled egg and some chopped ham. And also like a little drizzle of olive oil. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just peel the hard-boiled egg. If you wanna give it like a really fancy vibe, you can chop it in brunoise really fine, but I don't mind just like a rustic kind of look. So I do like a whiter dice, and that's fine. Okay, so now you wanna take a little Spanish ham. It can be Iberico, it should be Iberico, it can also be Serrano. So you want to chop this a little bit. If you want to get fancy, you could flash fry it or heat it up in a pan a little bit, make it a little crispy. But I just really like a classic garnish on here. Okay. Now we're going to get the Salmorejo, and I'm going to show you guys how to serve this amazing soup. Okay, so you want it to be chilled. The whole point of this is that it's like 100 degrees. We're in Córdoba. The Mezquita is right over here, one of the world's most beautiful buildings, and it's hot. And so we just want like something chilled, right? That's where we are right now. So you can see it's got this lovely texture. Thanks to passing it through the food mill, it's like pretty smooth. It looks almost like almost mayonnaise-y the way that it's emulsified. Okay, so you just add a little bit to the bowl. Okay, and then to garnish it, I'm just gonna take a handful of hard-boiled egg. I'm gonna put it right in the center, and then I'm gonna take a little bit of chopped ham, put it right in the center, and then I'm gonna take a little bit of olive oil. I never have enough olive oil in Spain. Oh, it made cute little droplets. And voila, this is it. This is the Salmorejo. Look how beautiful it is. This is honestly one of my favorite dishes, and you saw how easy it was. Just a few ingredients, one of Spain's most iconic chilled soups, and definitely underrated until today. Should I try it? Oh, it's just so good. It's like you can taste everything in there. You can feel, of course, the tomato at first. The bread is kind of what gives it thickness, not really taste, but then you get a little bit of garlic in the back, and then you get that olive oil. This is just like the perfect food. Gazpacho, get out of here, okay? Bye, gazpacho, whatever. Thanks you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really hope you make Salmorejo and tell me about it in the comments. And I'll see you again soon. Adios. I'm gonna keep eating this. This is so good.